What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Boys Solo Adventures. My name's Nick. I'm going to be your host today. Before we continue, I want to remind everybody to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to catch out more content like this. I got a hell of a show for you today. Let's dive into it. So, I was talking to my girlfriend today. On my way home from work, actually. And she told me that she had heard about the whole banking situation that's going on right now. It's a little minor news blurb about how we've had the second and third largest bank get shut down in the U.S. Yeah, it's just minor information. But she said that she knew about it and she learned about it from all places of TikTok. So that tells me that if the people who are using TikTok are finally seeing major news stories or major breaking news, things are getting bad. Things are getting real bad. But enough with the nitty gritty. Let's get into it today. So, from the Daily Wire, regulators shut down second bank in race to contain fallout from Silicon Valley bank collapse. This is from yesterday. All right, from the Daily Wire. And things have just astronomically picked up in pace over the course of the last 24 hours. So it all started out with the Silicon Valley Bank, who I'm going to refer to as SVB for quick purposes, and a lot of the issues that arose from it was from their own poor financial investments and from trying to increase their ESG score, which is quote unquote their woke score, to basically prop up diversity, prop up equity, and all of the good woke ideology crap that they try to shove down your throats. They would much rather do that, push that, and I have a couple articles showing about the billions of dollars that they invested towards such things. And they were taking your money that you were depositing into those banks and just not really making sound investments. They're just making investments to expand on or encourage their own point of view or their own kind of thinking. Not really what you'd want your bank to do. I would much prefer my banks invest in ways so that when I go back into them, I can get my money without having the federal government get involved with the FDIC. But that's just me. Anyway, like I was saying before, things have gotten a hell of a lot worse over the course of the last 24 hours. Let's take a look at how the stock trading went today. From Newsweek, here's a full list of bank shares that halted trading as the panic spread from today. So, you can take a look. All of these banks right now have stopped day trading. Their stocks just halted. You can't buy, you can't sell from my investigations. They're just stopped. They're just nope. They're done. And why is this such a big deal? What's causing panic? If anybody knows the history of the US about what happened back in the 1920s during the Depression, essentially the banks loaned out more money than they had, and then everybody started panicking with all the stock market issues when the stock market crashed, so they all went to the banks to try to pull out all their money at the same time, and the banks just didn't have their money. These people had money, they had bank accounts where they had no access to it because the bank just didn't have the money to give to them. And I'm worried that this is going to happen again in about 100 years. So we're about time for a financial collapse. Anyway, we can also talk further about this. The First Republic Bank from New York. This is the second bank that was essentially shut down by the government. It started out today with 65% down. Like, just opened up the day with a loss of 65%. Let me see if I can get. Yeah. Okay. So I was wrong. It was 75%. Wow, so everything is changing. Maybe everybody needs to make sure that they invest in some things that retain their value, like gold, silver. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not doing that at all. But obviously, things are happening. Pretty bad things. All you have to do is just open up Google right now, and this is probably going to be the front page news on everything. At least it should be the front page news. But it's not going to talk about the reasons why the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. No, they're going to talk about the repercussions. They're going to say everything's fine. Don't worry about anything. Well, how did we get to this point? And I have pretty good idea how we got to this point. I'd say go woke, go broke. I was talking about earlier about how the SVB was obsessed with their ESG score. They had a phenomenal ESG score. They had an A rating. Yeah, those people I really care about my money. They really cared about your money. They were investing it in things that wasn't going to make you money, that wasn't going to allow you to keep the money that you deposited into it. It's from the Daily Mail. Go woke, go broke. SVB hired board obsessed with diversity, invested $5 billion for, quote, healthier planet, end quote, and held a month-long pride celebration, but had no chief risk officer for 8 months last year. Okay, for people who don't know, a risk officer is essentially the person that says, what is the risk, what is the reward, what is the risk to our company, what can we do, can we get around this? It's basically cause effect guru. They're supposed to be able to see what's going on in the market. They're supposed to see what kind of decisions that they make, how it's going to affect them in the long run, whether they're going to make money, whether they're going to lose money. They didn't have someone filling that position for 8 months. 8 months. That's a long time for a major bank like this to go without chief risk officer. Let's continue. The Silicon Valley Bank had an A rating for its ESG score policies as it increased diversity and invested in sustainable startups. For 8 months last year, the bank did not have a chief risk operator. At the same time, it was investing clients' money in low-interest government bonds and securities that saw their value fall when the interest rates rose. Continue with the Daily Mail. Executives at Silicon Valley Bank focused on woke initiatives to increase diversity amongst its ranks and invest in startups promoting healthier planet, but failed to spot its glaring problems with investments as interest rates rose. The now failed bank had an A rating for its environmental, social, and governance policies, according to the MSCI index, after creating its own initiatives to advance inclusion on the opportunity in the innovation economy and investing in clean energy solutions over the past few years. Okay. The banality of evil. They were trying to do things that they thought would be better for the environment, be better for society by just hiring people based on what they looked like or what their sexual habits were. Not really based on the merits of the people, just based on what they look like. That sounds like a great path to follow. It even announced that it would invest a whopping $5 billion by 2027 to support sustainability efforts, while its European offices held a month-long Pride celebration and promoted safe spaces. But for 8 months last year, the bank did not have a chief risk operator, as it invested clients' money in low-interest government bonds and securities. Then, when the Federal Reserve increased its interest rates, the value of SVB's assets fell while customers tried to withdraw their money. I'm going to add a little point in. They weren't able to get their money because they didn't have the money, because they were investing it in ways to protect the world, in ways to protect the planet. It's okay. You can't have your money because it's for a better cause. You don't need to pay your bills. They're caring about the planet. Now, many are slamming the financial institution for focusing too much on woke policies and not enough on its investments. Silicon Valley Bank has long touted its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts as it built its banking franchise around startups. Mm. Okay. Okay. Got to make sure that we're diverse and inclusive. Inclusive. I like. I like it. Not really, because the bank's no longer functioning. They shut down. They focus more on that than they did, running a bank, trying to make money. Okay. It also notes the bank implemented a diverse candidate slate for U.S. leadership roles. It introduced its first 6 employee resource groups for Asian, Black, Hispanic, LGBTQ, veteran, military, and female employees. Wow, they are really trying to go all the way. They're trying to check off all the marks when it comes to wokeness. Hmm, I don't know, man. I don't know. Between this, between this and the second, the second shutdown. What was the second shutdown? Signature Bank in New York. That was the other shutdown. So far we have had the second and third largest bank shutdown in American history. This is going to have a rippling effect all across the U.S. and you don't even know about it. I don't know about you. I hope that everybody has investments. And I hope that everybody has tangible items that are going to retain their value, gold, silver, things like that. Seeing seeing how things are gonna play out with this, this is going to be a story that I can't just fully cover in one video. This is going to be several videos long to try to talk about the causation for how we got here and the effects that are going to take place into it. This is pretty much just a hey, everybody, this is what's going on. Well, kind of a video on how we got here when it came to SVB, but got to go into the fractional reserve, got to go into all the nitty gritty, all the wonderful things about how we just print money out of thin air. But that's another video for another time. I want everybody to make sure that their financial situation stays safe. Do the best you can. Make sure you can have enough money for food. Take care of your family, because that's the most important part. But with that, I'm going to leave you all here with a message of don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification if you want more content like this. But dreary, depressing, but that's it for the day. Peace.